Let's talk about dashboard in Excel today. First of all, what is a dashboard? There are many metrics or performance measures a company need to keep track of. For example, let's say there's a company called Superstore. It sells three categories of products: furniture, office supplies, and technologies. The firm needs to keep track of three performance measures: sales over time, sales breakdown by region, and top 10 customers at all times. The company first collect data and then using pivot tables to create these three performance measures. And the result may look like this. These are the three charts for those three performance measures. These three charts are created using all of the data from all of the three product categories all together. But at some point of time, the manager probably asked, can I only see the metrics only for furniture instead of all three product categories all together? Well, that will involve changing the pivot table and update all of the charts, which is pretty cumbersome. It would be great if we can have a menu like this, and the manager can simply click on furniture or office supply or technology, and then the charts get updated automatically. And this is exactly what a dashboard does. So we're going to see how to create a dashboard in Excel. Now let's see how to create a dashboard in Excel. We're going to work on this file. When you open it up, you'll see three worksheets. The first one, data, is simply the raw data. I have used this one to create two pivot tables already. The first one is called sales in time. Here's a pivot table and its pivot chart. Another worksheet is top 10 customers. This is another pivot table and the pivot chart for top 10 customers in profit. The first thing I want to introduce here is something called slicer. Let me get back to sales in time, for example. A slicer is essentially a filter. We can get it from here. Analyze, insert slicer, and you choose the item you want to slice from or filter from. So let's say category. It will give you a menu like this. A slicer is essentially a filter. It will show you all of the items you have under, say, category. When you click on the items here, you will see the pivot table and the pivot charts both get updated according to your selection. For now, I'm selecting furniture. I can select multiple categories by first click on this one and then check, say, technology. Now, this chart is showing the result for both furniture and technology category. So this is a slicer, which is essentially a filter. Next, let's say I want to show sales in time and top 10 customers in one page so that I can visualize them at the same time. This is called a dashboard. Now let me create a dashboard by opening up a new worksheet called dashboard. First, I'm going to copy the pivot charts, both of them, and paste them to this dashboard. Copy and paste. Now I have both of the pivot charts here. But remember, I have a slicer in sales in time. So I want to copy the slicer as well and paste it to the dashboard. But remember, the slicer only works for sales in time. Now I want to make sure that the slicer also works for top 10 customers. How do I do that? Well, first select the slicer, go to option, select this one, report connections. It shows that there's a check in sales in time because the slicer applies to sales in time. If we check here, the slicer will also apply to top 10 customers. So this is what we're going to do, and OK. Now you see that when you check the items in the slicer, both of the figures got updated. Finally, if you want to remove this blank, you can go to options, slicer setting, and click on this hide items with no data. Now we have a basic dashboard for Excel.